For all of our military service men and women, this country owes them a great debt of gratitude. I served in the military for over 20 years. I was enlisted and I was an officer. So I know it from both spectrums. And I know the sacrifices that are made in leaving family behind, in giving up yourself to serve country. So yes, in the state of Florida, we have great opportunities with jobs existing. The problem that we have in the 21st century now is having a skilled workforce for the jobs that exist. And that's why the M.O.S.T is so important, because they go after companies and finding out what their needs are and then placing them with a skilled worker. The bottom line in getting any worker trained with a skill set is placing them in a job. You can train them in a classroom all day long, give them a certificate to go out to work. But if you're not on that back end to give them and guide them into that job and make sure that they're comfortable once they're placed in there to have successes for long term, you're not doing them a good service. The M.O.S.T program does that. They hold them by the hand, they train them, they make sure they're properly trained, and then get placed in the jobs. Once they have the skill set and once they're already trained and certified and they get into the workforce, the world is their oyster.
Kandahar, Kabul, Marja, Balad, Fallujah, Baghdad. The armed forces of the United States have been engaged in conflict for a longer sustained period than any time in its history. The burden borne by these patriots on our behalf is inestimable, our debt to them incalculable. 6,026 killed in action, and more than 44,000 wounded. But the numbers back home are no less sobering. 17 veteran suicides each day. 100,000 veterans are homeless on any given night. Divorce rates triple the national average. Unemployment rates topping 21% for veterans of current conflicts. These numbers are unconscionable. Given what these men and women have proven in the most extreme circumstances, how is it that we can't help them when they ask something of us? Even something as simple as leveraging their skills and unparalleled experience into a job.
When you go to the service, you feel proud to be American. You feel proud to be a soldier. You feel proud to serve your country. You could die for the country. And when you get back alive, and you get into a situation like this one, unemployed for such a long time, you feel like you're dying, day by day.
Each year, more than 300,000 veterans complete their military service. Since the Gulf War, more than 2.3 million veterans have valiantly served their country.
I wanted to serve my country. I wanted to save people. I wanted to help people. And to now, have to apply for assistance from the state, I almost feel like I'm a burden to society right now.
I was somebody in the service. When I got out, I became a civilian that nobody really knew anything about me.
After you get home from duty in the military, the integrity is not lost.
When I put on this uniform, there's a sense of pride when I put this on. It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Like they say, the fight doesn't end when they come home. I'm still a capable person, ready to work.
Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant Greg Toval was fortunate to leave Iraq unscathed, but he wasn't prepared for the hurt back home.
Well, most of my nights are somewhat spent like this. Some nights I park at the VFW, park behind the VFW in the parking lot, to where it's not too noticeable. Other nights I park in somebody's yard. They'll let me stay in the yard, and I go in to get a shower. And then they'll go back out to my car because they have their own families to worry about. Every night is different. Every night is different. Every night kind of like fluctuates. I never thought when I got out it was going to be that difficult. I thought it would be a plethora of jobs out here. But seems like when you get out, the only jobs they want to offer to you, security jobs, truck driving jobs, you're underqualified. You never hear anybody say you're overqualified. You always hear people say you're underqualified.
I thought I would pretty much be a shoo-in for some certain companies, shipyard work, maybe apprenticeship programs.
You're responsible for personnel, you're responsible for millions and billions out with the aircraft, inventory, and then when you come out the military, you think you can take this and put on your resume and get a job very quickly, and they tell you none of this stuff is transferable or it doesn't match up.
The failure to match up, to bridge the skills gap, is one of the most frustrating obstacles for the returning veterans. After years of accountability and responsibility, veterans are left out in the cold, unable to translate their military skills into civilian employment.
How can I say to you, go give 8 years of your life for me, but when you get back here, I don't need you anymore. We have made a mistake.
Here I am, now unemployed. I served my country. I was expecting at least to some degree, something minimum as having a job.
A job, a means to support his family. This is the great shame of the current situation. The jobs are there.
Our biggest challenge is finding people, plain and simple. In order for us to grow, we need to have talent.
American jobs, manufacturing jobs, jobs that feed families and build neighborhoods. The employers are there.
We can buy the equipment, we can buy the material, we can provide the facilities, but they're not any good unless you have the right people in front of them.
Small and big business owners that are looking for the next greatest generation of toolsmiths and machine operators. The workers are there.
To watch it from a raw piece of metal to what it is now is like watching your child grow.
Men and women who know that sweat equity is the only equity worth investing, and that what makes America great is not paper, but steel. Not hope, but purpose.
We're not asking for handouts, just an opportunity.
Yes.
Just an opportunity.
What's missing is this: job training. Specific job training tailored to specific employment opportunities. This is what the M.O.S.T program does. Unlike almost every other job training program in America today, M.O.S.T finds the jobs first and then rapidly matches the skills training to the jobs at hand. After 80 intensive hours, graduates walk off the training vehicles directly into a job. And the results speak for themselves. Training completion rate of 98%. Job placement rate of 95%. Job retention rate after 6 months of 88%. Return on investment per hire within 4 to 6 months. Our goal is this: put these patriots back to work. With your help, M.O.S.T will put 10,000 veterans to work now. The jobs are there. The workforce is there. What's missing is your support. These men and women who have sacrificed so much for you and your family need your help now.
I think the M.O.S.T program should be a must. I think it's a must. M.O.S.T life program.
Duty, honor, commitment. These values are not solely the obligations of those who have served. Civilians have an obligation too. Thanking them for their service is not enough. Our servicemen and women need your help. I am calling on all Florida's businesses to weigh in and join us in this critical initiative to put these veterans back to work.